Hey friends, it's Hope, and today I am here to do a very impromptu book review for you guys because I just got finished with Who Do You Love by Jennifer Weiner, and guys, I am freaking blown away by this book. I immediately went onto YouTube and searched for Who Do You Love book review, and I came up with absolutely nothing, and I was shocked. I just really wanted to hear other people's thoughts about the book, and yes, I know I can get on Goodreads and read people's reviews, and I will definitely go and do that after I review this, but I just wanted to connect with people through BookTube because that's my hobby and that's what I love to do. And since I didn't find anything on there, I decided it was time for me to make an impromptu book review for you guys in hopes to encourage more booktubers to pick up Who Do You Love by Jennifer Weiner. This is Jennifer's 12th book, but it is her first novel purely based on a love story. I like to personally think that it is her debut novel of sorts because this is the first time that she has written all about two characters who fall in love and the journey through their relationship over the years. And let me tell you, my friends, if I would have known beforehand going into this that she's never written a love story to this capacity, I would have been a little hesitant since this was out of her realm and maybe her comfort zone. But friends, don't let that freak you out because this book was so good, she knocked it out of the park. So we follow two characters through this story. Rachel, who is a privileged Jewish girl who has a rare heart condition. And then we meet Andy, who is biracial and is living with his mother at home, pretty much in poverty in the city of Philadelphia. They both meet in 1985 in a hospital. Rachel is there for her heart condition and Andy is there because he fell and broke his arm. And since 1985, we get to follow their story about love and loss and pursuing dreams and second chances and what happens to your life after your dreams come to an end. And this book was just filled with so many happiness and tears and overwhelming emotions that I just seriously could not put it down. Rachel's character in this book I really appreciated. She had such a great character development. At the beginning of this book, you saw her as this really innocent child who didn't really understand why things were happening the way they were, and she just kind of wanted to be normal like everybody else. And then we see her go through those awful teenage years where she's trying to fit in and be popular, and it was so relatable, and I feel like it was so spot on. And then of course when she gets older, we see her become more of this responsible motherly type of character who always has somebody else's interests and well-being in mind over hers. And then we have Andy on the other hand, who after he was kind of brought in by Mr. Sills, who ended up being Andy's next door retired neighbor, Andy seriously became the most precious character I've ever read about. Now don't get me wrong, Andy was a little troubled, he was misunderstood, he spent a lot of time trying to prove his worth to his mother, but after he kind of got all that out of the way, he really did become one of my most favorite male characters anybody has ever written in a book. It got to the point that I was so attached to his character and thought he was so precious that after every single one of his chapters, I was crying. And it wasn't because it was sad, it was because of how precious his character was. Heck, I cried every single chapter until we got to the whole Maisie situation, which, don't even get me started. One downside to this book, I would say, is that sometimes it felt a little drawn out because we are following Rachel and Andy from 1985 all the way until 2015. Some things don't get accomplished, obviously, until the very end of the book. But I will say that I have never once felt more tempted to spoil the ending of a book for myself until I read this book. There were so many times where I was so tempted to just flip to the very last few pages and read the last chapter just to find out how their story ends. This book wasn't just some mushy-gushy love story that gave you a whole bunch of fluffy feels. It had some really deep qualities to it that really made you think and ponder, and it got a little gritty at times, and I appreciated that. Friends, if you like following characters through their life and reading about a precious real love story and rooting for your characters who strive to overcome their adversity, I really do recommend you guys picking up Who Do You Love by Jennifer Weiner. And I know for a fact that my friend Tanya would probably appreciate this book just as much as I did. So Tanya, if you're watching this, please pick up this book immediately so we can talk about it. Thank you so much, friends, for watching today's pretty spontaneous book review. I was not planning on doing another one for the month of September, but you know, when you end up reading a really good book, you just can't help but gush about it. I will have to say that I was in the biggest reading slump of my life until I picked this book up. It has taken me almost 4 weeks to read 3 books, and I read this sucker maybe in like 2 days. So thank you so much, Jennifer Weiner, for getting me out of this reading slump, and thank you so much, Rachel and Andy, for sharing your love story with me. I'm sure this book will probably end up in my best in books video coming up here in a few days. I would love to know from you guys, what is your favorite book love story that is maybe not so well known? I think why I enjoy this book so much is because I haven't really heard about people talk about it. So let me know below what your favorite love story is book-wise that the book isn't very well known. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'm sure I will see you soon. Bye.